What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Welcome. Today, since we got our nice new patches here inside of Act 3 with our new heresy coming out as well, these PvP changes for our sandbox seem to be slapping in. We're getting an even bigger update this coming up week here as I'm recording this video, at least, that Bungie is going to talk about trials, etc., the Crucible even a little bit more, but these things are absolutely slapping right now with the buffs that they got. So we're going to cover a bunch of different weapons throughout my next couple videos, as well as a couple guides here. But first, we're going to talk about the auto rifles in the rapid fire frames. These guys are your 720 burst rifles, if you will. These things are super fast in their fire rate, and they can dap up guardians because we can build it out for range, absolutely slapping people out. So first off, we got ourselves the Chroma Rush with the Splicer Surge as its origin trait. Reloading this weapon after dealing damage grants a stacking reload bonus as well as handling bonus until it's stowed again. So very good for the Crucible, specifically with that handling, switching on and off this with your shotgun, whatever you're using. Now, as for the 5 out of 5 God roll, which is what I'm going to cover, maybe a couple options in the second and third columns, or the third and fourth, I should say, but we're going to go with a range masterwork as well as small bore for our barrel, accurized rounds for our magazine. For me, number one choice in this third column is dynamic sway reduction. You could also go with killing wind though if you would like in that third column. Fourth column, definitely what you're looking for is target lock, so either that dynamic sway or killing wind with target lock would be a 5 out of 5 in my personal opinion. You could throw on tap the trigger, something like that, but target lock in my opinion, since it also got a nice little buff, or it got reverted back to before it got nerfed, I should say. So target lock is also slapping, but that small bore accurized, to my personal opinion, dynamic sway with target lock and a range masterwork builds this out for the best range and stability. We're at like 70 in range, 60 in stability. Sorry, switch those around. We're at 60 in range, 70 for stability. So this thing is a laser beam at a pretty good distance away. You can absolutely melt guardians with these right now. These 720s are slapping. Next off, we got Rufus's Fury right here. Again, obviously a rapid fire 720 with that harmonic resonance, equipping multiple weapon frames of the same type, which this does come from a raid, so you do gotta watch out from that, but it gives you increased reload speed, handling. It also deals additional damage against targets wielding darkness and light, so those are against our lucid enemies. Definitely a PvE perk, but that reload and handling, kind of the same thing actually in my opinion as the Splicer Surge with the Chroma Rush. Perk wise, this is going to be very similar across the board for a lot of these weapons. Even when we move across to pulse rifles, SMGs, like stuff, the rolls are going to be very similar. So again, range masterwork with a small bore as our barrel. For me, again, ricochet rounds right here, definitely what I would go with, plus 5 to range, plus 10 to stability. Third column, my 5 out of 5 includes perpetual motion right here. Definitely the best for me in my personal opinion, but you could also test out moving target if you would like. Totally a personal preference there. Last column, again, we got ourselves target lock, gives us that increased damage the longer we remain on the target, so this is definitely the best roll for me with that range masterwork, small bore ricochet with that perpetual motion and target lock. My 5 out of 5 target lock, like I said, gives us back that nice absolute mow down of enemies just because it got reverted from its nerf back in the day. And like I said, we got this thing at a good 56 range, 75 stability on this, so can be built out like an absolute laser beam. Can get this even higher if you enhance it, get stuff going on like that, but definitely one of the best weapons for the auto rifle realm in the Crucible. Last option for me, and this is a little bit farther of a stretch, at least for super meta. The other two are definitely way better, but we got ourselves the good old Sweet Sorrow. This came back in the Season of the Risen with the land take origin trait. Final blows with this weapon grant increased resilience and additional damage resistant from combatants, so not a bad little perk to have on it. Definitely more PvE based for sure. Babes, once again, we got ourselves a range masterwork with that small bore for our 5 out of 5. Definitely gives us the best 2 that we're missing with stability and range. Same concept right here as our other auto rifles. We got ourselves ocularized rounds, giving us that plus 10 to range. Again, 2 options in the third column. For me, perpetual motion is my favorite, but we do have killing wind as well, which is also a very good option, but perpetual is my first choice. As for the fourth column, nothing too crazy in this. This is why it's my last option as auto rifles that I threw out for you. You could really throw on any of these rapid fire frames. There's a bunch of them in the game. These are just the 3 of my favorite and craftable options, if you will. So you can go with Focus Fury, gives yourself that damage increase if you are slapping those headshots, but if you have to reload or stow the weapon, you do lose that buff, so you do got to be careful for that. So I think overall for these, definitely Chroma Rush is slapping really hard with that target lock. Rufus's Fury as well. Those would be my first 2 choices if you have them ran around. Definitely Chroma Rush is probably the easiest to snag, craft, enhance. I guess I should say you can't really craft them, but enhance them. Make some pretty crazy build, if you will, with that target lock going on. Definitely, since it got reverted from its nerf back in the day, I don't know, maybe about 3-4 seasons ago, something like that. It wasn't terribly long ago, but with that being back, definitely slapping. Like I said, these rapid fire frames got that nice little buff in general from the Bungie devs and stuff, so definitely get to grinding out some of these rapid fire frames and see what you can get for some god rolls. But again, appreciate you guys. I know Destiny is slow right now. Heresy's coming out in a couple weeks here, and we're going to be looking really good for that. Got a lot of new content, hopefully, that they're going to drop for us and do some fun little new things. So appreciate all you guys once again. Don't be afraid to like and subscribe. Hit that bell if you haven't. It helps me out, helps the channel out a bunch, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.